What does it take for an entire town to disappear? Not a single house, not one family, an entire town. Schools, churches, cinemas, streets with names, homes, with furniture still inside, all abandoned. Not because people slowly drifted away, but because something snapped. A mine ran dry, a border shifted, a disaster struck. A decision was made far away by people who never lived there. Ghost towns are not accidents, they are consequences. And in 2026, they are not relics of the Old West or dusty footnotes in history books. They are still forming, still evolving, and still pulling people toward them like magnets. Because nothing exposes the fragility of human ambition quite like a place that once mattered, and now doesn't. So here's the real question. If entire towns can be erased, how permanent is the world we're building today? What makes a town a ghost town? A ghost town isn't just an empty place. It's a settlement where life stopped suddenly enough that the structure of everyday living is still visible. You don't need imagination to picture what happened there. It's already laid out for you. Roads still lead somewhere. Houses still face each other. Shops still have signs. Sometimes plates are still on tables. Sometimes toys are still on floors. The difference is that nobody came back. Most ghost towns fall into a few major categories: economic collapse, environmental disaster, war and political conflict, or government intervention. Often, it's a combination of all four. People don't abandon towns lightly. They leave when staying becomes impossible or pointless. Centralia, the town that's been on fire for over 60 years. Centralia looks like a mistake that nobody knows how to fix. In the early 1960s, a fire ignited in an underground coal seam beneath this Pennsylvania town. At first, it didn't seem catastrophic. Fires had happened before. This one, however, refused to go out. Decades passed. Toxic gases seeped into homes, roads cracked open, sinkholes formed without warning. The ground itself became dangerous. Eventually, authorities relocated most residents through government buyouts. Houses were demolished, streets were erased from maps, zip codes were retired. As of 2026, only a handful of residents remain, fewer people than most elevators carry during rush hour. The fire is still burning. Centralia is not abandoned because people forgot it. It's abandoned because the ground underneath it broke the contract of safety. It's a town defeated by geology and patience. Bodie, the Wild West town that refused to disappear completely. Bodie is what happens when a boom town lives fast and dies young. Born during a gold rush, it exploded into a bustling mining town filled with saloons, hotels, shops, and dreams of sudden wealth. Then, as quickly as it rose, the gold faded. People left. Opportunity moved on. Unlike many abandoned towns, Bodie wasn't stripped for parts or bulldozed into memory. It was preserved. Today, Bodie stands frozen in time. Buildings lean, but don't collapse. Interiors remain untouched. Even everyday objects sit exactly where they were left. Hundreds of thousands of visitors walk its streets each year, proving a strange modern truth. A town doesn't need residents to be economically valuable. It just needs a story. Bodie isn't alive, but it isn't dead either. It's suspended. Hashima Island, when industry leaves overnight. Off the coast of Japan sits an island that looks like a concrete battleship anchored in the sea. Hashima Island was once one of the most densely populated places on Earth, built entirely around coal mining beneath the ocean floor. Workers and families lived stacked in concrete apartments. Life was harsh, efficient, and tightly controlled. Then, energy priorities changed. When the mine closed, the population left almost immediately. No slow decline, no half-empty streets, just an evacuation of purpose. By the mid-1970s, Hashima was completely abandoned. Today, it's partially accessible under strict conditions due to structural instability. The buildings are decaying, but the island remains one of the most visually striking examples of industrial abandonment in the modern world. Hashima isn't ancient. It isn't rural. It's proof that even advanced, modern infrastructure can become obsolete overnight. Varosha, the beach resort frozen by politics. Varosha was once a luxury resort district lined with high-rise hotels, shops, and beaches that attracted international tourists. Then, conflict arrived. In the mid-1970s, the area was evacuated and sealed off. For decades, it sat untouched behind fences, a resort locked in time, slowly decaying under the sun. Unlike most ghost towns, Varosha wasn't abandoned because it failed. It was abandoned because history intervened. In recent years, parts of the district have been partially reopened, transforming it into one of the most politically sensitive abandoned urban areas in the world. Varosha shows that ghost towns don't always come from collapse. Sometimes they come from stalemates, places caught between what was and what might someday be. Oradour-sur-Glane, a village left silent on purpose. Some ghost towns are preserved not for curiosity, but for memory. Oradour-sur-Glane was destroyed during World War II, its residents killed in a single violent event. After the war, the decision was made not to rebuild the original village. Instead, it was left exactly as it was. The ruins remain: homes, vehicles, personal belongings, all untouched. A new village was built nearby, while the old one stands as a permanent reminder of what happened there. This is not a tourist attraction in the traditional sense. It's a place designed to be uncomfortable, to resist forgetting. Oradour proves that silence can be intentional and meaningful. Pripyat, the city evacuated in hours. Pripyat was built to support one of the most powerful nuclear facilities in the world. It was modern, well-planned, and full of young families. Then came the disaster. After the nuclear accident in 1986, the city was evacuated in a matter of hours. Residents were told they would return soon. They never did. For years, Pripyat became a symbol of technological failure and human miscalculation. Tourism eventually developed until geopolitical conflict once again made the area unstable. As of 2026, access remains heavily restricted. Pripyat stands as a reminder that modern cities are not immune to instant abandonment. Sometimes progress outruns caution. Kolmanskop, when nature takes over the mortgage. Kolmanskop was built in the desert during a diamond boom. European architecture rose in an environment that was never meant to sustain it. When diamonds were found elsewhere, the town emptied. The desert moved in. Sand poured through windows, filled hallways, climbed staircases, and turned homes into sculptures. Today, Kolmanskop attracts thousands of visitors who come not just to see abandonment, but to watch nature reclaim human ambition in real time. It's one of the rare ghost towns where decay feels almost artistic. Visiting ghost towns without ruining them. Many ghost towns survive only because they are protected, regulated, or respected. Removing objects, entering restricted buildings, or treating these places like playgrounds accelerates their destruction. Some sites are memorials, others are structurally unstable. Many exist only because visitors follow rules designed to preserve what remains. Ghost towns don't need to be experienced aggressively. Sometimes just standing still is enough. Ghost towns don't just tell stories about the past, they warn us about the future. Every empty street and silent building is proof that nothing we build is truly permanent, only borrowed for a while. If this video made you think, question, or look at the world a little differently, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.